Some stories don't begin with wealth, fame, or power. They begin with calloused hands, worn shoes, and a heart so full of love, it dares to cross into places society says it doesn't belong. This is the story of Jack, a 30-year-old black laborer who wanted nothing more than to make his young girlfriend feel like the most cherished woman alive on her birthday. What should have been an evening of joy became a battlefield of pride, prejudice, and love. And what no one inside that glittering hotel expected was how this one night would turn the balance of power upside down, revealing truths that would shake the room and change lives forever. Jack's mornings began long before the sun touched the sky. The alarm clock in his small one-room apartment rang at 4:30 a.m., pulling him from dreams into the cold reality of his life. He rose from a mattress that sagged from years of use, stretched his stiff back, and dressed in clothes that carried the permanent stains of sweat and dust. His hands were rough, cracked from cement and brick, his body carrying the marks of endless labor. By 5 o'clock, he was already on the construction site. The clang of metal, the heavy weight of stones, the bark of supervisors, all of it was Jack's world. His co-workers joked sometimes, calling him Iron Hands because he never seemed to pause, never complained about the endless work. But what they didn't know was why he pushed so hard. Her name was Catreen. At 18, Catreen was light in every sense, fair-skinned, with soft laughter that melted Jack's exhaustion away. She had come into his life unexpectedly 2 years ago, when Jack had ducked into the public library one evening to rest after work. He had sat at a corner table, his rough clothes out of place among the shelves of knowledge, when a gentle voice broke through his fatigue. "Excuse me," she had asked. "Do you know where the classics section is?" He had looked up, surprised that someone so young and elegant would speak to him. He pointed silently, unsure if he should even reply. But she smiled, sat across from him, and struck up a conversation. That conversation turned into another, and another. Over weeks, then months, the bond grew. She saw past his roughness, past the tired eyes, past the old boots. She saw the kindness in him, the way he listened when no one else did. Love had grown quietly but fiercely. By the time she turned 18, Jack was her closest confidant, her protector, her friend, and the man she gave her heart to. For Jack, she was the one reason life's burdens felt lighter. And now her birthday had arrived. Jack had spent weeks saving money for this night. He skipped lunches, worked double shifts, even pawned his old wristwatch. Every dollar went into a small tin box hidden under his bed. He didn't tell her. He wanted it to be a surprise. When the evening came, they walked together hand in hand. The city lights twinkled like stars fallen to the ground. Jack, in his cleanest shirt, though it was still faded, looked nervous, but his eyes were firm. "Jack," Catreen whispered as they walked, "we don't have to go anywhere fancy. I'd be happy just eating sandwiches in the park." Jack stopped, his gaze full of determination. "No, Catreen. You're turning 18. A birthday like this comes once in a lifetime. I want you to feel special. I want you to sit somewhere with chandeliers above, you and music playing in the background. Tonight, you'll be treated like the queen you are." She sighed, touched by his stubborn love. She knew his pockets were not deep, yet she also knew he would sacrifice everything for her happiness. With a soft smile, she nodded. "If it matters to you, it matters to me." Together, they turned the corner and faced the towering five-star hotel. Its glass walls sparkled, its name glowing in gold letters. Jack's stomach tightened, but he held her hand tighter. For this night, he was ready to face the world. The moment Jack and Catreen stepped into the lobby, it felt like another universe. The marble floors reflected the glittering chandeliers above, and the soft strains of piano music floated in the air. Waiters in crisp uniforms glided between tables, serving wine and gourmet meals. Wealthy couples dressed in tailored suits and glittering gowns glanced toward the new arrivals. Jack felt their stares. His shirt wasn't new, his shoes were worn, and his dark skin drew the kind of attention he was used to but never comfortable with. Still, he held his head high. Tonight wasn't about him, it was about her. A waiter, polite and smiling, approached them. "Good evening, sir, miss. May I escort you to a table?" Relief washed over Jack. Maybe things would go smoothly after all. They were led to a quiet corner near the window. Jack pulled out the chair for Catreen, who smiled gratefully as she sat. For a moment, Jack allowed himself to breathe. Menus were placed before them, pages filled with dishes Jack could hardly pronounce. The prices made his chest tighten, but he reminded himself he had saved enough. He would make this work. Catreen leaned closer, whispering, "Don't worry. We'll order something simple." But their peace shattered almost instantly. Across the room, the manager had spotted them. His sharp eyes narrowed, his lips twisting into a sneer. Without hesitation, he marched over, his polished shoes clicking like a judge's gavel. He stopped by their table, speaking not to Jack, but to the waiter. "What do you think you're doing? You know very well this is not a place for people like him." The waiter froze. Guests turned their heads, whispers starting to ripple. "Sir," the waiter stammered, "they are customers. They deserve..." "Customers?" The manager barked, loud enough for all to hear. "Do not insult me. This man looks like he crawled out of the streets. Our reputation will not be tainted by beggars pretending to belong." Jack's fists clenched under the table, but he forced himself to speak calmly. "I have money. We came to celebrate her birthday. We'll pay for everything." The manager scoffed. "That's what they all say. But when the bill arrives, it's lies and excuses. I've seen it 100 times. Not here, not in my hotel." Before Jack could reply, the waiter spoke, voice trembling but firm. "If they cannot pay, I will." "Please, sir, don't ruin their evening." The manager turned on him, fury flashing. "Shut your mouth. You are a waiter, nothing more. Do your job and stay silent. And as for him, I cannot stand black men walking in here, pretending they are equal to the rest of us." The words struck like a whip. Conversations in the restaurant faltered. Some guests looked away, embarrassed by the cruelty. Others smirked, enjoying the spectacle. Jack felt shame burn inside him. He whispered to Catreen, "Let's go. We'll find another place." His dream was crumbling. But Catreen's voice rang out, strong and fearless. "No, Jack, we're not leaving. We will eat here, and we will cut my birthday cake at this very table." The room froze. The young woman's defiance shocked everyone. She turned on the manager, eyes blazing. "You should be ashamed. You disgrace this hotel. People like you don't deserve to manage anything." The manager smirked, dripping with mockery. "And who are you to decide that? A poor man's girlfriend? Get out, both of you, before I have security drag you away." What he didn't know was that his arrogance was about to destroy him. Jack sat in stunned silence. He had worked so hard, sacrificed so much, and all he had given Catreen was humiliation. His voice cracked as he whispered, "I'm sorry. I only wanted tonight to be perfect." But Catreen's hands were steady. She reached into her purse and pulled out her phone. Her voice, calm yet edged with steel, cut through the air. "Dad? I need you at your hotel right now. One of your managers has insulted us." The restaurant gasped. Jack blinked, disbelief flooding him. "Your hotel?" His world tilted. "Catreen," he whispered, his heart pounding. "What are you saying?" "Your hotel?" She looked at him, eyes softening with sorrow. "Jack, there's something I never told you. I didn't want you to love me for money or family or wealth. I needed to know you loved me. The truth is, my father owns this hotel. I'm from a wealthy family." The ground seemed to fall away beneath him. He stared at her, torn between shock and fear. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I was afraid," she said softly. "Afraid you'd think we were too different. Afraid you'd leave. I wanted you to see me as the girl you met in the library, not as some rich man's daughter. And you did, Jack. That's why I love you. That's why I trust you with the truth." Across the room, the manager's face drained of color. His arrogance evaporated, replaced with panic. Sweat glistened on his forehead as he muttered, "Miss, I didn't know. If I had known..." "That's the point," she snapped. "You only respect money, not people." The waiter stood silently, his eyes wide with amazement. The girl who had defended him was no ordinary customer. She was the owner's daughter. Moments later, the heavy doors swung open. A tall, commanding man strode in. His suit was sharp, his presence overwhelming, his gaze piercing. Conversations died instantly. Employees stiffened. Guests straightened in their chairs. It was the owner, the man whose name was on the golden letters outside. And his eyes locked first on his daughter, then on the man beside her. "Dad," Catreen said firmly, walking to him. This manager humiliated Jack. He insulted him because of his skin and his status. He tried to throw us out. Is this how you want your customers treated? The manager dropped to his knees almost instantly. Sir, please, I didn't know she was your daughter. I swear, if I had known... That's exactly the problem, her father thundered. His voice echoed through the hall. You respect wealth, not humanity. A man like you has no right to manage anything under my name. Please, sir, give me another chance, the manager begged. But guards stepped forward. Within seconds, he was dragged out, his pleas bouncing off the marble walls. The owner turned to the waiter, his voice softer now. You showed courage. You defended a customer even when it wasn't your duty. That is the kind of man I want leading this place. From today, you are promoted. You will be the new manager. The young waiter's eyes filled with tears. He bowed deeply, unable to contain his gratitude. Thank you, sir. I won't let you down. Finally, the owner faced Jack. His gaze was stern but curious. So you are the man my daughter loves. Jack stood, his voice steady, though his heart pounded. Yes, sir. I may not have riches. I may not belong in places like this, but I love her with everything I have. I've worked for every penny I brought tonight, and I'll work my whole life to protect her happiness. The older man studied him for a long moment. Then slowly he placed a firm hand on Jack's shoulder. Money can be earned. True love cannot. Tonight you showed me your worth, not in wealth, but in dignity. Take care of my daughter, Jack. She's the most precious thing I have. Catreen's eyes filled with tears as she threw her arms around Jack. The restaurant, once filled with whispers of mockery, now erupted into applause. Guests rose from their seats, clapping, some even cheering. At last, the waiter turned manager brought out a cake, candles flickering softly. Jack and Catreen cut it together, their hands intertwined. The air was filled not with prejudice or shame, but with celebration. For Jack, the night had begun as a dream that turned into humiliation, but it ended as a triumph of love, dignity, and justice. He realized that wealth was not in chandeliers or marble floors. It was in the unwavering bond between two hearts. And as the candles burned low, Jack whispered to Catreen, "Happy birthday, my queen. Tonight you made me believe in miracles." If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, share in the comments which part of the story was your favorite and what you learned from it.